if you want to just get us started with your overall thoughts on the game today.
We're in it the whole way, and then, a call doesn't go our way and it just changes the result. So we have a lot of opportunities to score. We don't take them. Leaves Gotham a chance to win the game. So you got to take your opportunities when they present themselves. But yeah, same old feeling after the game, disappointed with the result. Effort was great, as always. The players are really putting the effort in. Just want the result to really feel like they're rewarded for their effort.
Austin?
Seb kind of mentioned it with back-to-back results, back-to-back stoppage time goals. For the mentality of this team, what do you need to do as their coach to be able to kind of keep their spirits up and keep them believing that they are, in fact, in the games and being the protagonists?
Yeah, it's tidying up the basics, right? Can you put that little bit more pressure on, the 2% that we always talk about? It's coming towards the end of the games, which is disappointing because that's where when the fatigue starts adding up. Again, they put so much work into the start of the game, and towards the start of the second half, it's that last bit where you have to build character in them moments. You got to at least come away with a point. You got to stay concentrated. It's a PK again, which is a regular occurrence right now with us. We have to review it, and it is what it is right now. The refs aren't going to change the decision after the game.
Luis?
Coach, you're fielding a fairly young squad. Can you talk a little bit about how these growing pains will be part of the process towards the development of the team?
Yeah, it's only development if you learn from it, right? So getting the exposure to these scenarios in the game should only help them moving forward. The important thing is that you have to learn from it. You have to, and that's part of the development. Again, Gotham have a very experienced team, some international players who have been through these moments. It's only going to help our players when they get an exposure in the games and these situations and scenarios and how they manage it and build character moving forward. We know that we're not the finished article yet. We know this is still a building process. We know that, we're still trying to help the young players, and we have experienced players here, and it's get them all together. And I think it looks like a team right now. It's that last bit of work that needs to be done to get results.
Back row to Sean.
Can you talk about the decision to start Kaylie in goal tonight?
Yeah, so, we had a few minor injuries. Kaylie has been within the club for a while now. She's been waiting for an opportunity. I remember last year she played Gotham and she was brilliant in Challenge Cup. She's just been patient, and I thought she was great today. I thought, there's going to be a few nerves, but she managed them well. So, again, it's given her exposure. It's her time. So, again, we're always challenging players. We're always pushing players for places and to be in the starting 11. So, again, that continues with the goalkeepers as well.
Luis in the middle.
Seb, good evening. North Carolina is coming up, another tough opponent. How can we improve defensively, especially those last 10 minutes? It seems that the penalty goal affected the back line big time mentally. Lynn Williams just pushed through the defense. How can we get better at that?
I think it goes back to the basics. You go through all the goals that we've conceded this year. It's been through our own downfall, really. You go back to Portland, giving the ball away and high-risk situations, penalties, long ball over the top. It's just going back to the basics and making sure that we clean up the basics, because I felt like we, between the defenders, midfielders, Gotham didn't really carve us open too often. It's a penalty at the end of the game. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a referee decision that's gone against us again. So, again, can we stop ourselves from being in them positions? Yeah. But, it's again, getting into them final moments of the game. Can we be on the other side of the field and start pushing for a goal and ultimately us winning the game instead?
Last two will go Austin, then Luis.
Just wanted to ask you about Viviana getting back on the pitch. She was an important piece in that midfield block last year. Just getting her back into game fitness, how important is that to the midfield of this team?
It adds another player to our roster, another player who's challenging for a starting spot. So, yeah, it helps. It gives her exposure to getting into the game. You know, she's been out quite a while now, having missed pre-season also, but you know, she's a quality player. She'll find her rhythm relatively quickly, and you know, she's going to be another important piece for us moving forward.
And Luis.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about what you saw during the match, so that there was only one substitution relatively early, and then the three-player sub in the 91st minute?
So we knew that Marta was restricted with minutes, you know, having missed last week and still coming back from an ACL. So that substitution was always going to happen. Again, we're missing some players. We're missing, you know, the likes of Julie Doyle's been out, Ali Watt was out. So that front line looked a little bit thin today. So it was just trying to manage players. We knew that we needed more legs, we needed more energy with the substitutions. And again, it's, you know, it's one of them things that, you know, you put players in and it comes off, it looks great, and you know, it can go the other way. And I don't think it didn't really change the game. I don't think it really affected us with them making subs and we're not making subs. I thought we had good rhythm going into that last stretch. The players really believed that they could go on and win the game. And that's where we're at. We were like that against Angel City as well. We felt that we were going to be the team that wins the game. And, you know, it's tough right now because they are putting the effort in, they are believing, and we're just falling short right now. So, again, it's a learning moment. But we have to learn. We have to get better. We can't keep losing games at home. This needs to be a fortress. This needs to be a hard environment, which I think we're starting to cause other teams to find it difficult to play here. But again, it's going to be results that matter the most.
Just overall, how's the team feeling after the tough one tonight?
Yeah, I think we are all super disappointed. I think that we know that we should have put that game away. We also know that we need to stay focused for 90 plus minutes. That's what this game is about, especially with VAR. People go down, and right now we're not doing that. And I think the team needs to figure it out. I think we will figure it out. We're still hopeful, you know. We believe in one another, but we understand that we need to be better. This is just the beginning of the season, so I think that we're all excited to keep growing, but definitely super disappointed with tonight's result.
Austin.
Talking about growth, I guess, just for you personally, after last year, missing all of last year, being able to come in, start, and play these 3 games, how important is it for you just to be able to get out there and play these games and actually learn professional experience versus last year being just able to train and not being able to see the field?
Yeah, I mean, this year's super important. I think that everything happens for a reason, and last year I couldn't play, and you know, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I got to be in this environment. I got to learn from the best players in the world. I'm still learning from the best players in the world. Everything for me is about growing and becoming the ideal player that I want to be, and getting this experience right now is so vital to that. But I would not be able to do it without my teammates. They have taught me so much in so little so far. So I'm excited to keep growing and to keep moving forward with this team.
Luis?
Can you talk a little bit about the discussion that happened between you guys and Gotham and the official, especially during the VAR review?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us, were pretty shocked. You know, we're new to VAR, and while it's great for some things, it's not so great when you're on the opposite end of it. I think that our discussion was we're going to be fine. If it's taking this long to come up with the decision, it must not have been clear enough. And then when the referee made that decision, I think we all were just like, all right, here we go again. So not much discussion. I think we were all pretty confident that it wasn't going to be a PK, but sometimes it doesn't go your way.
Back a row to Sean?
Now that you've had 3 games into the season, can you talk about the comfort you have playing next to Emily, and especially since you guys are so young, how you feel that you guys have adapted to this level?
Yeah, I think it's a super unique situation. I don't know many teams in the NWSL who have 2 rookies. I mean, not that I'm a rookie, a second-year player who didn't see much of the field, plus a rookie playing next to one another. You know, me and Em played against one another. We were both in the ACC together. I think we both have an understanding of each other's games, and I think we're also trying to create a strong partnership. I think we both complement each other well. I think we both bring different strengths. And I think right now, 3 games in, we're still trying to figure it out, but I see us going in the right direction.
Austin?
Just now that you've gotten games in NWSL versus last year, just being able to watch and kind of learn from seeing, now by doing, what's been the biggest kind of surprise for you just in NWSL games and the way that kind of flow?
The speed of play, the caliber of players you're playing against, watching so many games, people don't look as fast, people don't look as sharp, people don't look as strong, and then you're there and you have a couple seconds to think, you have a couple seconds to make decisions, and I think that's been a big adjustment. I don't think that anyone can, be ready for that by just watching. I think you have to be in that moment. Seriously, it has been an honor, it has been a dream, and I'm excited to keep growing on this.
Back to Luis.
As the team shifts to the Challenge Cup, how do you feel the team will respond to a different type of game setting?
I mean, every game for us is a game to get better and to win. I think that it being Challenge Cup, I think we can, express ourselves. I think we want to win everything possible. So I don't think we're taking Challenge Cup lightly. Challenge Cup is another game, another trophy to win. And I think with us and how young we are, we need to take every single game extremely seriously and grow on it. So our game on Wednesday against NC Courage is another game that's for 3 points.
Kaylie, just to get things started, let's start with a positive note. Just you made your regular season debut today. How are you feeling after that game?
Excited to get the start. Really grateful for the opportunity. It's the start, honestly. It's just the start, so I'm feeling good about that.
All right, we'll go to Austin.
Kaylie, you got your first taste of NWSL experience kind of last year in the Challenge Cup against Gotham, and now, funny enough, you get your first regular league appearance against Gotham. Going from that experience last year to this year, how much kind of changed for you just in terms of the way you've kind of gone about learning and the process of kind of working your way up to this moment?
Yeah, good question. To me, I came in this year and it felt different than any other year because there was, I think, in the 2.5-ish years I was here before, there wasn't a lot of expectation that I put on myself. A lot of it was coming in, learning how to be a pro at the end of the day, which has been a great process, and I had a lot of good people around me to help me. But this was the year that I came in and I was like, I expect more from myself, and with expectation leads to you put yourself out for disappointment. So it's been a cool process to actually feel that, and you feel the highs and the lows, but the highs are great, so it's worth it.
What release?
Can you talk a little bit about, after playing such a well game, how you change gears towards the penalty facing the PK?
I mean, a PK is honestly you just got to stay locked in. I think a game is chaotic and a PK is a chance to take a breath, and you don't really, especially after 10 minutes of checking VAR, you don't really have your adrenaline anymore. So it's how do you get yourself back in that moment to perform and do one action. So it's a tough job as a goalkeeper, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, you trust yourself and you do what you can. Yeah.
Go to Sean.
Obviously, there was your teammates didn't feel like it was a penalty, and then you had the long delay. Can you talk about, after giving up that goal, how your team responded to the disappointment of giving up a goal in that way?
I mean, it sucks, honestly, like with the timing of the goal and the time that it took to decide it was going to be a PK, it obviously affects the game. So I think, like, you know, we had Carriabello screaming at the top at half field, like, we have time, like, let's go. They obviously had time to score a second goal, so did we. And I think that's the mentality that we need to have when we go into those moments. And I think it's hard to defend for as long as we did, and then get on our horse and be like, we have now, like, we have this moment to go and score. So that's the mentality that we want, and that, that we are trying to instill everywhere.
Austin.
Just talking to Caitlin a little bit ago, and her kind of responses about being a young center back playing in this league. Obviously, you're a young goalkeeper playing in this league, and your constant communication with your center backs in positioning and everything. How has that been, just with not only with Caitlin but with Emily, in terms of kind of learning each other's tendencies and where you want them to be as a goalkeeper?
A lot of talking, a lot of, like, good relationships off the field and on the field. Like, yeah, you said it, we're all young, but I think that, like, with that, like, there's no ego, honestly. It's, like, a lot of, like, I'm going to lean on you, you're going to lean on me. We're going to lean on our great outside backs that we have that have experience. It's just, like, a lot of listening and learning, and it's a really cool environment to be in, I think, because, like, we're all developing so quickly, and we're doing it together. So, like, we're becoming pros together in a sense, and, like, we're there, honestly. I'm, like, so happy with the back line, and especially tonight, like, they saved me in so many moments. So I'm really appreciative, and, like, good relationships.
Ben, back to Elise.
Piggybacking a little bit on that question, can you talk a little bit about how you were able to see the game and how you were able to manage the line to organize it?
Obviously, I mean, honestly, like, I think that was an area where we could have done better. I think managing how we defended, I think, was great. I think we read the game plan of Gotham pretty well, and it was pretty obvious what was going to happen. And we knew that we had to, like, be constantly switched on to move our line up and down, to be aware of, like, the long ball coming in. Like, we did our homework on it, and I think we were well prepared going into it, so it made it easier. But when we talk about, like, managing the actual game, I think there's managing defending, and then there's managing how we build and how we control the game. And that's an area where, like, I think we have to grow from myself, and then from the confidence to just, like, own the moment and own the game when we have control. Because I think defensively, like, we manage those moments so well. Because everyone's learning and everyone's, like, on the same page.
Last one with Austin.
Just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on like the week coming into this moment. Obviously, kind of the process of learning that you're going to be starting. How does that kind of change the mentality of what you do in training, how you kind of prepare for games versus, typical game days?
Not much, honestly. I think, like, the past 2 weeks, coming off of, I had an injury in preseason, and I think since that moment, coming back, like, to me, every moment, like, I'm fighting for a chance. So, like, to me, every training session is, like, has to be like a match day. So when I prepare, that's what I'm doing every day, and it's exhausting. And like I was saying before, it's like, it's putting yourself out there to be disappointed every day. But that's, like, what sports is. Like, you have to kind of give everything, especially at this point in my career. Maybe you're a little older, you have a little bit more, like, you can manage a little bit, but, like, this point in my career, like, I'm treating every day like I'm going out to get it. So, yeah, I didn't know I was going to be starting until, like, pretty recently before the game. So I had felt great. It was good timing because I had been going after it, I think, in training. So, yeah, it was good.